Hey everyone, this is Monica from Tranquil Living, and this is my last video for my book. I just wanted to take this opportunity and say how amazing this process has been. This is the first book that I've ever written, and honestly, without the Tranquil Living process, I would not be able to have written the book. So there's lots that go into writing a book that even I had no idea about. I've read thousands of books over the years, and I've never really appreciated everything that authors went through in order to actually create the book. So writing for me was the easy part. I wrote the book in about 2 weeks. Creating all the video content, that was not hard for me. I think editing was a little time consuming, but creating the videos was super fun. For me, editing and formatting the book took a very long time, and it was a really big learning curve for me. So that's why it was a little bit delayed, but everything's a lesson. And in the future books that I will write, I have a list of 112 things that I would do differently next time. I want to just briefly talk about how I use the Tranquil Living System in order to be able to write the book. So obviously, I think most of us have gone through some sort of writing process when we were in school. As a teacher, I taught the writing process to my kids. But the way that I sort of ventured into this writing process was a bit organic, since obviously I had never done it before. So I bought this journal at an art market here in India, and I was so inspired by the artist who created these. And she had such a really cool story about each of the sketches that she had in her different journals. And I thought, I want to buy this because I want to do something really cool with it. I kept it on the shelf. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. And then when I decided to write this book, I was thinking, okay, this is it. This is the journal that I'm going to use in order to brainstorm for the book. So I literally just started writing lists of a whole bunch of different ideas that I had of different books that I could write. Obviously, I knew that I wanted to do something related to organization, but I wasn't exactly sure what that would turn out to. So I just started with, what does everybody say that I'm good at? And the first word obviously that came up was organization. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of people. I've had lots of friends from different countries, and they all seem enamored by the fact that I'm so organized, even though I feel like that's just normal. But I realized throughout the years it's not normal. It's something that I was taught, obviously, when I was a kid, and I've developed all of these skills because I was interested in it throughout my life. So then I just put down, okay, who did I learn from? Obviously, my mom. I learned a lot from her, and my grandmother. I watched and read content from Marie Kondo. I've watched The Home Edit, which is an American, they started out on Instagram, which I don't have Instagram, but then I caught up with them on Netflix. And then I just noted down all the different experiences that sort of helped me hone the skill of organization through my life. So I have a massive just brain dump list. So basically I'm grouping together all of the things that sort of have helped me create this persona of me being organized, and has helped me to have these different skills and this knowledge that I've had throughout the year. So then, of course, I went down the YouTube train and I went onto Instagram. I went onto my husband's business Instagram account because I don't have Instagram. And I just saw what else was out there, right? So obviously I know Marie Kondo and I know The Home Edit, but otherwise, what's actually out there? So then I just started doing research, and I was really uninspired and disappointed by everything that I saw, basically because it was pushing so much consumerism, which of course people have to make money, and I get that, but if you're organizing your home, you shouldn't have to buy a bunch of stuff. The whole point of organizing is to really look at the items in your home and to see what is useful, and to see how you can sort it and store it and organize it so that it makes the most sense for you. Continuing to buy and buy and buy all kinds of stuff to help you organize, it doesn't actually make you an organized person. It just creates more clutter that you have to deal with. So that was really disappointing, and I knew immediately I did not want that for my book. I do want to sell the book. I would like to make some money with this. I won't make a ton of money, but I don't want you to buy a whole bunch of things. Just go buy the book. Obviously, you already did since you're at the end of it. So after I did that, I basically just started, brainstorming and whatever. So this first part is the dream it stage. What did I want the book to do? What was the purpose? What was I really wanting people to be able to understand and learn from this book? And then I just sort of went in a deep dive into my bookshelf and was like, what would I want it to look like? What do I love about these other books that I have? I have cookbooks, I have, regular novels, I have nonfiction texts, I have all these different, and they're all laid out. And I'm like, okay, what do I love about all these books, and what would I want included in my own book? So tidbits, little things of information helped me sort of create this dream it section of what I really wanted the book to do and to look like. Obviously that changed a lot as I started writing and whatever, but that is just the beginning section. So dream it is an important part of life. And for you to be able to use Dream It in the Tranquil Living System in order for you to create the life you want and create the home you want, think as big as you want. You can brainstorm, you can dream it. So then I started a brainstorming of what sort of words called out to me, what was important to me that was within the book, words that came to mind. And I just have a big brain dump of a whole bunch of words that are important to me. And then I also had possible names of different things that I could name the book, name a possible company that I could create. I was thinking about all kinds of different areas within the home and like things that are within all of that. So this is the sort it phase, sorting through all the different ideas that I have, categorizing them to see which ones went together, sort of sorting it as far as what's important, what's not important, what would be most useful for people here in India, because that is my main target audience. Obviously, I want everybody to be able to read it, but my main target audience was people here in India. And, what do they need? What do they not really need? What would be useful for them? What wouldn't be useful? So this is all sorted, what do I want to keep? What do I want to get rid of? Sorry, we have like full on construction going on across the street, so it's quite loud. But this point in the book, I decided, so at the same time, let me give you the story. At the same time, my husband has started his own YouTube channel to promote Indian fashion. It's called Indian Origin. And I'm filming and doing all this editing for him, and I'm realizing that there's a lot of content online, and I would like to be able to create some online content for people who want to see demos, who want to see me and hear my voice and whatnot. So this is the point in the book where I decide that I'm going to have QR codes within the book, and it's going to direct people to video content that I have created for the book as well. So the pep talks and the pro tips and the demonstrations and all of that were ideas of how I could make this book really stick or have people really connect to the content more. So I'm hoping that the ability to see me and hear me and come along with me in my different journeys has been able to help you to understand the system a little bit more. And then I just start this huge video brain dump. And it's like all the videos that I could possibly create, knowledge that I already have, things, tips and tricks that, I thought were important. And then I basically then went through and formulated what the Tranquil Living System, what the keywords would be for the system. Obviously, I've used the system thousands of times in my life, but I didn't really think of, okay, what could I call this section? The dream it section is like the brainstorming stage, but I don't want to call it brainstorming because it's not brainstorming. It's really dreaming the life that you want. Grouping it, sorting it, storing it. So all of these, I just, put together some different names and then dwindled them down until I until I liked it. I read a bunch of other books, did takeaways and forwards from some other things that I read from other people, things that I had read years ago but wanted to refresh my memory on. And then I just started writing. As I started writing, I really wanted to create this system for myself that I was able to, number one, have a space where I could really concentrate. So here in my studio, I have a desk, and then I have a desk in front of that. So like all the clutter mess of, different craft projects and things like that have to stay on the desk in front. And then this desk is fairly empty. So when I was doing my writing, I wanted to just be able to focus on this, because this is where I was housing all of the information and ideas and whatever. And then I just wanted my laptop, and that was it. I listened to some music, I would put some coffee on, and then I would just sit down and write. And for 1 hour, I would dedicate time to just focus on writing. And then I would take a screenshot at the end of that, and I would notate how many words I had written. To be honest, I didn't care. I didn't have any time frame in mind for myself. I wanted this to be very organic and just, for me to take my time with it and be at ease with writing. I think a lot of writers, because they're writing for a publisher, they're giving themselves a particular deadline, or the publisher is giving them a deadline. They have this pressure to write faster or think of ideas faster. I didn't want any of that. And I didn't know in the beginning, like, how I was going to publish. I didn't think about any of that in the beginning. That wasn't until after I had written the book. So 1 hour a day, I sat down, I dedicated it to writing, and then I would reread what I had written the day before, and then I would continue writing. So I'm a pretty quick reader, so it didn't take me long until it started to get to the point where I was like, okay, this is a lot. I can't keep rereading. So then I finally just stopped the rereading section and just started writing. And then I finished, it was, I think, I'll have to go back and look at this, but I think it was approximately 60,000 words in 2 weeks that I wrote. When I would talk to Sagar, he would be like, you're a crazy person. Like, who can write that much? Like, how do you have that much stuff to say? And I was thinking to myself, I don't know how I have this much stuff to say. I just do. And it was so easy for me to write it. And then after that, just like everything in life, things are not always easy, right? So I wrote the book, and then I was like, okay, well, that wasn't difficult. Why do people have so many issues with writing? And then I started trying to edit. I went back and, reworded things. I reorganized things. I included pro tips within it. Those little pesky text boxes, let me tell you how terrible those were to format. So then I just kept on with editing and revising. It was mainly revising. Then I went back and did an edit with Grammarly, and I had to then decide, okay, am I going to write this in British English, because that's what I've been using in education for the past 10 years, or am I going to write it in American English, because I am American? So I decided to write it in an American English, mostly because I wanted organized to have a Z. Elise will appreciate this. I wanted Tranquil Living and the word organization on the front of the book to have a Z, and I felt like, okay, if I'm going to use a Z in America, then the whole book needs to be formatted to American English. Fast forward, the book is finished. I feel like it's edited. I feel like it's formatted to the best of my ability. I know that I'll probably hire a formatter later. And then I decide, okay, I'm tired of being in this space. I'm tired of being, in this particular place in Bangalore. Like, I just want to be out. I want to be in nature. I want to be inspired in a different way. And I need to look for photographs to go with my book. So I talked to Sagar, and we figured out a good time that I could actually go on a trip by myself. And I went to a place here in India called Coonoor. It's a hill station near Ooty. And I literally locked myself in a cabin for 10 days and finished everything. I did the videos. Some of you who know me, you'll notice that, half of the videos are done in my house here in Bangalore, and all of my intro beginning videos for Tranquil Living on YouTube and the book, those were done in a cottage in Kannur. Beautiful kitchen. I mean, perfect place for filming. So shortly after that, we're getting to the point where I spent hours and hours and hours looking for photographs, because as a writer, when you're writing something, you have a particular picture in your mind, and then to go back and find that exact picture is really difficult. I'm not a photographer. Some of the photos in the book are of my actual house that I took with Sagar's camera, and some just with my cell phone. But like the intro sections, the pictures for those, and the chapter photos and things, I wanted them to be high quality, and I wanted them to be done by a professional photographer. So I looked on Pixel and Unsplash, and I mean, hours I'm scrolling, and I'm so inspired by the things that these people are taking photos of. I mean, it was just incredible, but it wasn't the photo that I wanted, right? So I would type in kitchen, and there's a million pictures of a kitchen that comes up, but it's not the kitchen that I had in mind. So anyway, that took me a very long time. But once I found them, I felt like I had, climbed a mountain and stuck my flag at the top, and I was like, we're done. The book is done. And I got back to Bangalore and I just let it sit. Honestly, we traveled to America. We were there for 6 weeks. Obviously, I didn't even think about the book there because I was so busy. We got back, we celebrated Diwali. My parents came to India for 2 weeks and we traveled with them. So it was like all this stuff was happening and the book just sat and, simmered a bit. And then I got to thinking, okay, I hired an editor before I left for America. She did a terrible job and didn't turn it in on time, and I ended up having to cancel the order. But in my mind, I knew that once I got back, I would hire a different editor. And then I thought, I know so many people who either are authors themselves or are former colleagues of mine that are teachers, that are great editors. So I'm like, why don't I just have a party and invite people, and then each person can take a chapter and tell me what they think. So that's what I did a couple weeks ago. I mean, who knows when you'll be watching this video. I did it in December of 2024. And it was so amazing, the comments and suggestions that my friends gave me. Different ages, different, from different countries, very different personalities. Some of them were not teachers, they were, in other fields and things. Such amazing feedback and suggestions that they gave me, and really helped me to figure out a way to word things that it was more understandable for everyone, not just Americans, which was super helpful. So after that, I get onto Amazon KDP because I've decided to self-publish, and I go through their 1,000 pages of information on how to self-publish your own book, which of course I should have read, when I first started the book, but I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. So then I resized the book in Pages on my Mac, and it literally changed every bit of formatting that I had already spent hours and hours and hours and hours doing. So I not only had to go back and make edits based on the suggestions that my friends gave me, but I also then had to reformat the entire thing again because of the sizing change. So that took probably another 2 hours, not too bad, but 2 hours that I will never get back in my life. But I will remember this as a lesson the next time. Choose the size of the book before you write the book in pages. Lesson learned. Anyway, so we've now gotten to the end. We are in the midst of uploading it to Amazon KDP. Who knows what's going to happen once the book comes out. If people want to order the hardcover of the book, then that has to come from America. Obviously, if they want the ebook, that they can just get here or anywhere. So anyway, it's been quite a process, but I do believe that the Tranquil Living process really helped me to be able to figure out the writing process, and it really helped me to figure out everything else in my life, right? So it's not like I'm just sitting here and writing the whole day. I am at home now, which makes it a whole lot easier. But for those of you who are not at home and you work outside the home, or you're very busy, if you have something that you want to get better at, any skill, obviously I wanted to get better at writing and writing a book specifically. You have to organize your space in order so that you can be successful in that thing. If you want to become a better painter, then you need a space that you can paint. And if you don't have a space that you can paint, then you're probably never going to try to become a better painter. So designing your space and making it in a way so that you can work on the things that you want to get better at, you can spend time with your family, you can have more quality time together with yourself or, with your family and friends. All of this is part of the Tranquil Living System. So I hope that you'll come back to this book again and again. I hope that it's not something that you read through and skim through once and never do anything about. You don't have to do everything at one time. Go through, learn the Tranquil Living System, and then practice it. Just practice it. Spend one weekend or a couple hours on a Saturday morning starting the process. And over the course of however long it takes you, I hope that the system can really help you to live a more tranquil life and a more successful and valuable life in whatever way that is for you. It's been an honor, and I can't wait to hopefully hear from many of you. Please leave a comment wherever it is that you read the book. And you can always send me an email if you would like to at tranquillivingindia@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Talk to you soon.